Well,
That's
you
been
have
when
gaps
we were
here?
inside. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, don't worry about it. I just wanted to adjust because it'll be okay for cameras. Just I always go right here, like usually the straight part, and it's just size. What's it matter? I'm okay with it. But
What
it's
do you
it's
prefer?
so like usually like where like this mark is usually dissects these two T's, and it gets it a little. See how Lady Justice is kind of moving this way a little bit.
Okay.
A water straighter.
You wanted this one?
Yeah. So I'm trying to get like right there. That should work. Yeah. Yeah, that'll work. And then yeah. Okay. Yeah. It should. We need new Velcro because it should.
We need a new footing too. Look at behind there.
This
We
is
have
the
to
one
put
that's
rocks
I
and
asked-
gap tape the whole thing.
I asked for a podium. I asked for a podium a long time ago. And he was like, well, maybe we should discuss finding this little podium. No, because it got overcast.
Exposed for the overcast.
Yeah.
Now
I was exposed.
the cloud is moving.
Go ahead, Devin.
Testing 1 2 3. Hello, my name is Devin. Testing 1 2 3 4 5. A B C D E F G.
We're doing good.
Okay, sounds good.
I got to go to Nick Nolte's star ceremony last week, and it was super cool. It sucked because there was like 20 people. I mean, there was I got to I walked up and met him. Yeah. Took me on my 11th birthday to go see the Attorney Harry movie in the theaters. I've gone to like kid movies like Toy Story 5, but I mean there's nothing like worth going to see. Back in the day, I know, yeah. When all of those like start shutting down, like we just I hiked it. I parked down there. I got here like 7. Yeah, they didn't have anything else for me, and they had like 2 other guys on. They're like, "Hey, go post up there." So I was like, "This is the right spot," because there was like that gate, and then I was like, "Yeah, "Come this way." So I hiked up right up to the pin. If I had gear, like, yeah. But this is one of those like 100 degree days. People have been going down. That's just probably.
Ya, ponme así él aquí. Ponme así. ¿No sabía?
Sí, hijo, mira, si te caes te vas a romper la cabeza.
Te matas.
Aquí ven para acá, ven aquí. Ven aquí, aquí voltea, abraza los pies y no, ahorita ponte acá. En medio cielo, no, así es. Aquí, ya, abraza los pies. Abraza los pies. 1, 2, 3.
Ociel, mira. Peekaboo. Pica, pica, boo. Peekaboo, júntate con ellos. No te escondas. Osito, peekaboo, peekaboo. Mira, Caleb, no te muevas, amor. No, Ociel. ¿Qué estás tomando? Siempre está volteado. Estoy tomando el grado. Pásatela. Pásatela, pásatela.
No te avances tú si nos bebes.
Caleb, Caleb.
Oh, I think this is fine. Audio test, testing, 1, 2, 3. Good. Keep going. So when I was a child, I really enjoyed dancing, but now as an adult, I enjoy swimming. You know, what can you say? Exactly. There's no way to know. This morning I had a Starbucks coffee. What did you guys have? I'm good. Everybody's good? Great.
Thank you again for being here. Rob Bonta, California Attorney General. And I want to say thank you for joining me right here on location in beautiful Los Angeles. I'm here to announce a lawsuit that I've filed and that a coalition of 12 states have filed challenging the proposed merger of Paramount, Skydance, and Warner Brothers Discovery and asking the court to block the merger from moving forward. We are on file right now. Our complaint is available. We filed in the Northern District of California earlier this morning. This $110 billion proposed merger, the largest merger in Hollywood history, would extinguish competition. It would result in higher prices, lower content quality, and fewer movies and TV shows. Movie theaters, basic cable TV distributors, and audiences on every sofa and in every movie seat would feel the impact of this unlawful merger. Movies and TV shows are not run-of-the-mill commodities. The film and entertainment industry doesn't exist just to buy and to sell them. It exists to tell stories, to spark ideas and spark curiosity, to inspire and sometimes to inform, to open our eyes to new perspectives we may have never considered before, to expose us to the things we don't know we need to be exposed to. It's why it plays a starring role in so many first dates and sometimes last dates, in cherished family memories and in moments of self-care. Why it has the power to bring us together, as we've seen through the World Cup, and to help shape who we are and what we believe is possible. It has the power to inspire. And in California, it's a source of immense pride and employment up and down the state. David Ellison may think this is an offer we can't refuse. But I'm here to say he's wrong. I'm proud to lead 12 attorneys general across the country to put an end to a merger that, let's just say it simply, breaks the law. It hurts an industry that touches the lives of Americans daily and brings so much to the state of California. I may be standing up here alone, but I'm certainly not alone in this effort. This lawsuit is the result of the collaboration of our coalition of AGs and their teams, our teams, and the hard work, dedication, and leadership of DOJ's antitrust law section. An incredible team working overtime to keep prices down for Californians and Americans, to make life more affordable, to make sure we have a free and fair market, not a rigged market. So now let me tell you a little bit more about this lawsuit. As our complaint makes clear, this deal is illegal under the Clayton Act. That is a law that has been on the books for over 100 years. It prevents mergers that may substantially lessen competition or tend to create a monopoly. By combining 2 of the 5 largest film distributors and 2 of the 5 largest basic channel owners, basic cable channel owners, the resulting behemoth would control nearly 1/3 of theatrical motion pictures and nearly 1/3 of basic cable programming, including 50 of the most popular cable channels. It'd be particularly harmful to anticipated top-grossing films, or often referred to as blockbusters or tentpole films, as this merger would give the combined company control of more than 30% of blockbusters. In total, just 4 distributors would control more than 90% of blockbusters, movies that have massive production budgets and help drive traffic to movie theaters. For more than a century, Paramount and Warner Brothers have squared off as fierce competitors, which has fueled powerful projects that have stood the test of time. We're talking Titanic, The Godfather, The Matrix, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and Casablanca, just to name a few. Who knows what those movies would have been like if not for the competition driving the distributors to produce their best work. If these two companies merge, theaters will lose their negotiating power. They'll have to pay more to get the merged companies' movies on their screens. They'll have fewer discounts to offer. They'll have fewer new releases to show. While ticket prices will most likely go up, theaters will be forced to cut back on investments that make the experience better for audiences. Comfier seats, expanded concessions, and premium screens. The merged company would control a slate of basic cable TV channels, spanning everything. Spanning news, sports, entertainment, kids, family, factual, and lifestyle content. Full range of content. No other company would be able to keep up. Which means basic cable TV channels would also lose their negotiating power. Their ability to secure low prices and encourage the distributors to develop new and exciting shows. Content distributors would be virtually forced to accept terms offered by the merged company or risk landing on the blacklist of the most popular channels. They could be on the receiving end of a blackout of some of the top cable channels in the country. There is no debate here. This merger would snuff out competition, drive up prices, diminish content quality, and produce fewer movies and shows each year. That is the bottom line. We have antitrust laws and merger controls for a reason. Because competition is the lifeblood of a healthy and vibrant economy. Competition pushes companies to produce their best work, to innovate, and to offer fair and reasonable prices. Competition ensures that companies succeed based on what they put in the market, not based on backdoor deals. History has shown that consolidation in markets at the center of American economic life does not serve our economy, our consumers, or competition. Instead, it leads to increased unaffordability, a loss of good-paying job opportunities, and fewer choices for consumers. It gives too few too much power. Antitrust enforcement is democracy's check on oligarchy. A check on wealthy businesses seeking to game the system and cheat to knock out competition for their own gain, trampling over consumers, workers, and our free market as they go. Antitrust enforcement is a check on billionaires, currying favor with the president so he'll do their bidding. A check on a president who's trying to handpick winners and losers, bypassing the law and the meritocracy that makes our economy thrive. It's a check on the elite few who think they're above the law when they're not. No one is. No company is. If you need proof that antitrust enforcement supports a healthy economy, just look right here at California. We've got some of the strongest antitrust and consumer protections on the books. Protections we're not afraid to uphold, not afraid to enforce. And we are the fourth largest economy in the world. Home to more Fortune 500 companies than any other state, and home to nearly 2/3 of all U.S. venture capital investment. That, folks, is no accident. Americans deserve fair prices. Americans deserve a fair market, not a rigged market. They deserve to know they're not being cheated by corporations that break the law and take advantage of workers and consumers to fill their coffers. We're here to make that a reality for Californians and for Americans. As Attorney General, I'm committed to leveling the playing field and ensuring that all Californians, all Americans can participate in and benefit from a vibrant economy. Not just sons of billionaires, CEOs, and shareholders. This deal, proposed deal, has been the hot topic in Hollywood since it first came on the scene. Understandably so. The film and entertainment industry is deeply ingrained in our state history and in our state's identity. But beyond that, it's also a critical sector of California's economy, a critical employer, and a critical vehicle for people to speak truth to power. This merger will mean fewer journalists informing the electorate. It'll mean fewer opportunities for Americans to hear the full breadth of information and opinions on a subject and then come to their own conclusions. It'll mean fewer documentarians, filmmakers, showrunners, producers, writers, and artists shedding light on important stories that too often go untold. It'll mean fewer shots for the next generation to break in. That is a death knell for the film and TV industry. And, yes, for our democracy. When this merger came to light, I gave my word that we'd give it a thorough review and that we'd take action if what we found was unlawful. Today we are. Today we're standing up for a free and fair market, not a rigged market, because America has no kings in government or the economy. Before I open it up to questions, I want to again acknowledge the incredible members of my team who've put so much of their time and energy into this lawsuit. They do not do it for the limelight, but I'm going to shine it on them anyway, because they deserve the recognition. Daniel Ambar, Winston Chen, Matthew Delgado, Nicole Gordon, Jennifer Hain, Ashley Kaplan, Casey Kovarik, Divya Rao, Colin Weaver, Rika Mortimer, Laura Namba, Annette Good-Parker, Michelle Diaz-Sandoval, Natalie Manzo, Brett Nakamura, and Paula Blizzard, and Ellie Bloom. I'm proud to serve alongside each and every one of them. With that, I am happy to take your questions.
Mr. Attorney General,
Yes, sir.
there are concerns that a blocked merger could push Paramount to leave the state, ultimately costing California more jobs and investment than if the merger just went through. What's your response to that?
We heard that claim yesterday for the first time, and honestly, it seemed like a last-ditch effort to try to blackmail my office and the attorneys general into allowing an illegal deal, an illegal merger to go through. And we can't do that, of course. I have a duty, I have an obligation to enforce the law. Antitrust law, the rule of law, is good for business. We support businesses. We are pro-business, pro-businesses that follow the law. If your business plan involves breaking the law, it's not a very good business plan. And so it's important that we have rules of the road, that we have an economy that has guardrails where you can't cheat, you can't engage in anti-competitive conduct, you can't be a monopoly. And that's what we're doing here. It's fair, it's firm, it's based on the facts, it's based on the law. It's unfortunate that that claim is being made at this point. Of course, we welcome and have welcomed for years businesses that follow the law to found here, to start here, to grow here, to thrive here, to help build our economy into what it is, the fourth largest economy in the world. I think a legally compliant Paramount and legally compliant Warner Brothers can and will continue to thrive here in California, but there is no negotiating on the legal compliance part. You got to follow the law. I think that's very uncontroversial. I think it's very controversial to suggest that you can break the law here in California. Whether you're a business or otherwise, the laws are there to be followed. Antitrust law is the law of California and of the federal government and the United States, and we're enforcing it here.
Mr. Attorney, Joe Flint, Wall Street Journal. Two quick ones. One, you sort of hinted at it in your remarks, but I wanted to flesh it out a little more. I gather you and the other AGs have a sense that Washington and the DOJ has kind of dropped the ball on antitrust enforcement. And two, just wondering, is there any insights you can give us on discussions you may have had with Paramount looking for concessions that would have given you a sense that you could let this go through? Is there any sort of light on that road or no?
I mean, to answer your first question first, the Trump administration has absolutely dropped the ball. Worse than dropping the ball. It would be better if they just did nothing. They're definitely doing nothing, but also they're affirmatively making things worse. They are greenlighting deals that their own antitrust section at the U.S. DOJ knows and believes are unlawful. And they're overriding them in the White House with political decisions. Sometimes high-paid lobbyists associated with the Trump administration are involved. See HPE Juniper. And we're challenging that deal. We think that the United States Department of Justice's performance in Ticketmaster Live Nation was shameful. They agreed to a slap-on-the-wrist sweetheart deal. And Trump barked orders at Brendan Carr to push through Nexstar Tegna. That is presumptively illegal, that deal. And we already have a preliminary injunction in that case. So if you look at the body of work of this federal administration, they are not just missing in action. They are making things worse for Americans. And remember, this is a president who said he doesn't think, or he likes the inflation. He doesn't think about the affordability challenges of Americans. That is obvious in how he is performing in this antitrust space, which has long been, for both Republican administrations and Democratic administrations, a area where partisanship sort of falls by the wayside, and we all commit to a free and fair economy, not a rigged economy. Trump is pro-rigged economy. And so our role is more important, given that not just his absence, but his affirmative doing of harm in this space. With respect to discussions, I'm sure you know settlement, any proposed settlement discussions, potential settlement discussions, or actual settlement discussions, should there be any, are confidential. So we can't discuss them. But I have often said I prefer and are very open to solving problems in the boardroom as opposed to the courtroom. We looked hard at this case, the facts, the law, the impact on Americans, on price, on quality, on competition, on choice, and all arrows pointed in one direction, which is we felt absolutely compelled and obligated under the law and the facts to file the lawsuit that we're filing today. Hi.
Attorney General Bonta, Reuters. Talked about the Trump administration and its negligence in terms of enforcing antitrust, and yet all of the attorneys general who are party of this in this initial suit are Democrats. How do you answer the criticism that is likely to be heard that this too is a political maneuver on the part of your office and that of the other Democratic agents?
I think there have been Republican attorneys general that have been critical of this proposed deal. It's unfortunate that they have not joined us in this case. It's not too late. If Republican AGs want to join the 12 attorneys general who have brought this case, please reach out to us. Ticketmaster Live Nation was a broad bipartisan coalition, as you know. I was on phone calls with the Texas AG's office, with the Utah AG's office, the Indiana AG's office. That's how antitrust enforcement should work. Nexstar Tegna is bipartisan as well. So the body of work that we've been involved in has mostly been bipartisan. Today's, at least as the time of filing, who knows who will join in the future. Nexstar Tegna, we had some Republican states join, not at the moment of filing, but in the period of time after. The filing with just Democratic AGs as of today is the rarity, is the exception. Usually this is bipartisan state AGs. So who knows what the future will hold? And what I say to the criticism is I received that same criticism with the 70-plus lawsuits that we brought against the Trump administration. And I say, look at the results. We have won over 80% of the time. We protected $200 billion worth of funding that Trump unlawfully, unconstitutionally tried to strip away from California. We pushed out the unlawfully deployed National Guard. We struck down unlawful tariffs. Prop 50 has been upheld. These are lawsuits based on the facts and the law. Our winning record shows that in the Trump lawsuits. Our winning record shows that in our antitrust actions, whether it be our Amazon case, next our Tegna, Ticketmaster Live Nation, and I believe Paramount Warner Brothers. We will be successful. We bring cases when we think we will win, when we think the facts and the law are on our side. In all those cases where we've prevailed, either finally or preliminarily, we thought we had the law and the facts on our side. We think that here as well. So I understand the criticism, but I say we bring cases based on facts and the law. This is another example of that.
There was a report, I think it was in Puck, that CNN was maybe an asking price for you to spin off CNN. Obviously, CNN is not mentioned in the suit beyond your concerns about cable industry, the force of the company. Were there those concerns? And if so, what made you not go down that road?
A divestiture of CNN?
Yes.
I heard that for the first time in the report. So, the gossip machine is on overdrive right now. People are saying things that have no relationship to the facts, to the truth. Everyone wants to comment on what's happening or what they want to happen or what they think should happen. Maybe it's on purpose to lob in some sort of strategic bombs into this process, or maybe it's because they think they know, but they don't really know. I'll say I learned about that for the first time in that article. And that's not the first time in this case or others where the press reporting has not been aligned with the truth or the facts. So I accept that as a part of the job, but that was in a report, and I don't know where it came from.
And then just on the streaming consolidation of this deal, Paramount, HBO Max, that's not something, I mean, I'm sure it's a concern, but your focus is really on theatrical and cable. Was the decision that the streaming business is between Netflix, Disney, and Amazon very competitive at the moment, so there's less concern about potential harm on that front in this deal?
As I mentioned, we look at the facts and the law, and these are highly diversified companies that operate in many markets. And we did a thorough investigation of the different markets, and our complaint focuses on the three that we've discussed, the widespread theatrical release, the top-grossing theatrical release, and licensing of cable channels to cable companies. So we think we have very strong cases based on our analysis. They are presumptively illegal on the market concentration index that courts rely on. So our analysis of the facts and law brought us to these markets, not others.
Could you speak specifically to the market harms in each of these cases, theatrical and also cable? What did your own research suggest the potential harms are?
The things that you'd expect. Prices to go up. So whose prices? The prices for everyday Californians and Americans who subscribe to a cable company or a satellite company. Dish Network, DirecTV, Comcast, Xfinity, AT&T, Cox, whatever. Your cable bill is going to go up because those cable companies that distribute the channels will have less negotiating power when negotiating with a merged Warner Brothers Paramount that have 50 of the most sought-after cable channels in the country. They will dictate terms. They will dictate prices. They will raise your prices. The same with theatrical release. The theaters who distribute the films, who show the films, will have less negotiating power. Paramount Warner Brothers, rather than competing with one another, will be a merged company that will dictate the terms with theaters. And prices will go up. to see movies, pure and simple. And your experience, while your prices go up, your experience will erode. The screens will be worse, the seating will be worse, the concessions will be worse. Higher prices, lower quality. That's what consolidation has shown to prove in the past across many industries, across a lot of time. That's what our analysis showed would happen here as well.
Thank you, Attorney General. Have you and your office...
So I'll come to you. Let's go here, then here.
Thank you, Daniel Miller from Politico. Paramount has just put out a statement saying that the litigation misrepresents the state of competition in Hollywood. And they say that the practical effect of litigation would be aiding streaming giants. What do you say to that?
I'm sure Paramount and Warner Brothers are going to say a lot of things based on this lawsuit. We have spoken very clearly, precisely, in 39 pages of a complaint, laying it out, chapter and verse, what the market is, how we define them, what the geographic market is, what the data shows. We were involved in an investigation for 6 months where we sought out, reviewed material, sometimes confidential material. You'll see that we have redactions in our complaint to honor the confidential nature, at least for now, until there's a potential motion in front of a judge to unredact that material. And we've set forth chapter and verse. Do I think Paramount Warner Brothers is going to say, yeah, you're right on everything? Of course not. I mean, I've been around. I've been in many lawsuits, high-stakes lawsuits. I think you're going to see a lot of deflection, denial, misrepresentation, good faith disagreement, and everything else in between. So the statement that you've just shared from the defendants in this case does not surprise me. But we stand on our complaint, which sets forth the markets, the presumptively illegal competition in those markets, and the presumptive unlawfulness, therefore, of this proposed merger. Of course, we have situational awareness around what's happening across the globe, including in the EU. We've been monitoring closely. We do have points of contact and communication. We need to for our work, including antitrust work that has a global component to it. So we're aware, we're monitoring, we're observing, we're reviewing. And I will also say this, their market's different than our market. So just because they come to a certain decision or conclusion doesn't mean that we necessarily should come to the same decision or conclusion. Each analysis is independent, it's market specific, it's geographic market specific. We are in completely different geographic markets. And so, yes, we're aware. Yes, we've had some degree of competition, communication. And that situational awareness is a part of a broader context. But we look at our case, the markets we're looking at, the geographic market that we're in making our decision, which led us to filing the complaint today.
Have you or your office been briefed on the Lineage warehouse fire and the aftermath of that?
We have. We're monitoring closely. And I will say that local law enforcement is the lead law enforcement agency here. So if you have questions, concerns, I want to refer you to them. But of course, because it's such a significant event, I've had quite a bit of outreach. My team's been looking at it closely. We're monitoring, and we're available should it come a need from our office to take a more prominent role. But again, local law enforcement is taking the lead.
Is there any circumstance that you see would warrant an investigation from you, like if you saw something specific with the AG's office?
I guess I'll say it's always possible. I don't want to speculate on what could emerge or may emerge in the future. But we monitor things for a reason in case something does emerge that requires us to have a more direct role in that event. So we're monitoring the warehouse fire, and we'll determine what happens next based on the facts as they evolve. Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you all for coming. Appreciate it.
Sorry.
All right. Yeah.
There was another report yesterday that speculated
Yeah.
There was a report suggesting, I guess, if the states were to lose, but the deal was delayed and Paramount had to pay their shareholders this penalty fee, that ultimately the states could be made liable for that. What's your understanding of that? Is that an accurate take or not?
I don't think that's an accurate take. I think Paramount, as I understand it, negotiated that payment scheme. It was their own negotiation. We had nothing to do with it. They decided that they would agree to it, that they would make the payments based on what they negotiated and agreed to, and to suggest that California would somehow, or taxpayers would pay for what Paramount agreed to pay, seems blatantly untrue. And so, again, we're going to see things like that come up. They're going to leave California. Taxpayers are going to have to pay. I encourage people, and that's what this case is about, is a diversity of different perspectives to get to the truth. And so maybe review some other perspectives, maybe consider my perspective as well. But I don't think that's an accurate take about taxpayers being on the hook for anything. I think Paramount's on the hook based on their own agreement.
Sorry, one more question.
Yeah.
Can you speak to any additional counsel that's being brought in on this case from outside your office? And also, can you give us a sense of the cost of this litigation? I know it's only just begun, but are there figures you can share?
Yeah. So a sort of general rule of thumb, sometimes higher, sometimes lower, about an antitrust case is it takes 20 attorneys to successfully bring an antitrust case from the prosecuting side, the plaintiff side, here, my side, the Attorney General, and $20 million. And if that sounds high, because it's high, these are expensive cases, particularly so. They require experts, economists, to review the markets and to do the analysis. They usually on the other side, like here, there's an army of high-powered private attorneys. I think they've hired 7 different law firms for this lawsuit. And so, to your other question, yes, we have engaged outside counsel, the Milbank firm, to assist us. They will follow our direction, our guidance, our lead. But this is a place where we need the firepower, the resources, the ability to advance this case on behalf of consumers, a free marketplace, the rule of law. And in this case, I'll say unlike Amazon, where we're bringing that case on our own without outside counsel, we felt it was prudent and appropriate to engage outside counsel, and we have.
And the $20 million, is that spread across all the states involved? That's not $20 million each state.
Correct. It's for the case. So, usually 20 million, 20 attorneys for a significant antitrust lawsuit. Any other last-minute questions? All right. Thank you all for joining. Appreciate it.
Dan, you can take down 14 and we'll go. Yeah. Thank you.